Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, I did. I couldn't stop thinking about you.
Really? Do I often pogo stick through your thoughts wearing nothing but a smile? Be honest. Or don't.
Oh, you just want to hear the truth. Or the, air quotes, truth. All the time, Jeanette. What do I do in your thoughts?
What all swayed kittens do. On hands and knees, you lap up the milk of me. And we purr, kitten, like dragonflies buzzing around frog bellies.
Well. Kinky.
So, Therese told me you might be back with something for her. Do you have it with you?
Did she tell you about that? Okay, now we're trying to suck up to each one of them, but I do not want to give this to Jeanette. I'm sorry. I am fond of you, but I'm not giving it to anyone but Therese.
I'm not just some silly doll, you know. All my life, my sisters made me out to be a joke. She told you I was an embarrassment, didn't she? That I couldn't tie my shoes, let alone hold on to something for her. Is that it?
I mean, not quite in those words. She said something about you being a 4-year-old or something like that. We're not going to call her a crazy bitch. No, now please calm down.
She's always belittling me. She's the smart one. She's the favorite. She's the successful one. Well, it's not fair. I'm not a fool. This club's success is just as much my doing as it is hers.
Not giving her the thing. I understand, but I still can't give it to you. It's for her hands only.
Do you understand what it's like to have your own flesh and blood ripping you apart on a daily basis for 2 lifetimes? Can you?
Well, not yet. Really sorry to hear that, Jeanette, but I really need to give it to Therese.
Fine, you hold on to it. Since you were so willing to brave that big spooky place for my darling sister, how about doing a teensy tiny favor for little troubled me?
Would that put a big smile back on that face? We do want to make you happy. Oh, she's got a blue eye and a green eye. I had not realized that. Heterochromia.
Do you know Gallery Noir down the street? I happen to know there's a charity event being organized there. Lots of influential Santa Monicans slithering in for token appearances. But there's one thing they don't know. The whole event's been set up by a kindred trying to establish their own power clique in our city. And we can't let that happen, can we? So I need some brilliant young upstart to spoil the milk.
That kindred wouldn't happen to be your sister, would it? She has contacts with an art dealer. But I suppose, for you, anything.
I promise this won't take long. Take this knife. Give the paintings in the gallery a good slashing. Don't get caught, and don't turn it into a massacre. And steal the charity box, would you? Buy yourself something velvet.
Oh, you like velvet, do you? Do we ask her to call the feud off? It's Therese that needs to do that. But I guess we'll ask. Fine, I'll be back when it's finished. And this time the feud will be called off.
I'm sure Therese will be thrilled to honor your agreement when you get back. But in the meantime, get to the museum and ruin those paintings. Then pay me a visit. I want to hear all about it. Hurry up. I can only amuse myself for so long.
We may amuse ourselves together. But I'm not sure it's even possible. You know, us being what we are.
Oh, well, it's a little different, but entirely possible. Come sit next to me on the bed. I'll show you.
Oh, will you now? I think this may be a plus patch edition. I don't remember this being possible. Oh my. so bored. Oh my god, that was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Thank you, my dear.
All alone.
And we can't hack this now. Probably because she's here. Maybe we'll get a chance again later. I certainly hope so. If I remember right, we're about to piss Therese off royally, but we get experience for it. So that makes everything all right. Keep it real. And let's see, Gallery Noir is on the other side. Yes. Constantly crossing back and forth through the alleyways. Ooh, guess I took a wrong turn, so we have to walk a little further. You know, is that Trip?
I don't think so, buddy.
Okay. Perhaps we should top off our blood here.
The taxpayers are certainly not getting what time is it?
Oh, it's that time again for you, big boy.
I've suddenly got
Always.
the urge to walk down that dark and foreboding alley over there. Care to join me?
And once more we uncork the bottle. You are a fine vintage, my strapping beau.
I'm going to need to bathe when I get home.
Well, isn't that rude? Nevertheless, we will be drinking from you again. Okay. Hello.
Hey, hold on a minute there. I'm afraid you are committing a 351. That's trespassing on private property. I'm gonna have to ask that you vacate the premises immediately, or I'm afraid I'll be forced to radio this in.
You are a security guard, not a police officer? Do we want to try to seduce him? Sure. He's handsome in his own special way. Wow, the way you said that, it was so commanding.
Well, Missy, that's just a natural response that people have to someone in my kind of position. The risk, the prestige, the authority. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Wanna know a secret? Power. It's a real turn-on to me.
Yeah, you know, you'd be surprised how often I hear that in this line of work. It's the uniform, you know. Women just can't get over the uniform.
Oh, don't stop talking.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, if I continue to engage you in conversation, it's a violation of Code 613.
The way you say numbers. How about we get to know each other better right now? Oh, Officer Chunk, you're such a sweet one. And that's just one more perk of playing a lady. I did not realize you could seduce Officer Chunk. Sweet. All right, we got ourselves an experience. So we need to prepare, because I do believe this is going to trigger a combat. See, there's the cash box. I think we lose humanity for this, but again, we have really high humanity, so I don't really care. It's a resource to be used. $250. Okay, Cain meets Lilith. Cain slays Abel. Cain spurns Lilith. Cain cursed by God. I think that we have to slash these in order. And I think we may have to use the knife she gave us? Or will this knife do? I don't actually see another knife, so I guess it's this one. Oh, can we use our axe instead? I would rather wield it. No. Going to have to be the knife. Come on now. So it's Cain slays Abel. And then Cain cursed by God. And then Cain meets Lilith. And then Cain spurns Lilith. Save again. Yep. Hello, Blood Guardian. Let's get back to our axe because that was better. Use. And we're going to want to activate our stuff. There's all of them. Didn't turn on auto renew this time. Oh, he does aggravated damage. Oh, this is not nearly as fast as our other stuff. Hold on. What? Oh, Alright. So I had my fingers off of the keyboard and put them back in the wrong way, so I wasn't actually moving. I think it's going to be okay. There we go. Get our buffs going again. Feel like maybe I should switch back to the knife, but we're so deep into this already, and I think we're going to get it, despite taking an absolute ton of aggravated damage, and we got him. Woo! That's a lot of experience. What are we looking at now? 7. Nice. Nice. So I think we want to start going into stealth. So sneaking is stealth and dexterity. Dexterity is good for combat. Don't have enough to raise that. Could just put a point into stealth itself. Let's do that, and then the next point is going to be 6. That'll do for now. Back to first person. Actually, I'm switching back to the knife. I just liked the way it felt in combat way better. Alrighty. Hey, Chunk. No hard feelings, I hope. Can we... Have you refreshed yourself? You have. I think we need a little top off.
What time is it? I've suddenly got the urge to walk down that dark and foreboding alley over there. Care to join me?
Always. Every minute with you is a delight. And quite delicious. Oh, okay. Blood also heals aggravated damage faster. Sweet. Let's not drain him dry. Don't want to get a humanity lost that way. You know what? We should pay Mercurio a visit before we head back. Just see how he's doing. It's been a while. Don't know that it's going to actually gain us anything, but he's still in bad shape. Alright, never mind. Nothing more here. Was worth the try. Oh, one thing we should do, though, that we haven't in a long time, is check our emails. Can't believe I hadn't thought to do that for all this time. I'm sure we've got some extra stuff going on there. Hear our radio going. We're going to turn that off.
just new to this.
Yep. Thanks, Deb. Take a rest, please. Don't want to tear up that golden throat. Yep. So we've just got one new email. A favor from LaCroix. It has come to our attention that a sample of werewolf blood has made it into the hands of the local tabloid, and that they have sent it to the clinic in Santa Monica for testing. The responsible party has been dealt with, most painfully, I can assure you. But for obvious reasons, we can't have anyone testing the blood. Please retrieve the blood sample from the clinic and leave it in your mailbox. You will be compensated accordingly. Sebastian LaCroix. Alrighty. We will do that. That gives us an excuse to go upstairs too, which is where I think we get the hard drugs that Trip, the pawn shop dude, wants. However, we are going to go turn this in to Jeanette / Therese, whoever we happen to run into first. That way we don't deviate too far from the path at hand. And as always, I think a save is a very good idea before we engage with
You. What were you thinking?
her.
The museum. That was my event. Did you think I wouldn't find out?
I mean, I suspected, but I mean, maybe our character didn't.
Shut up. I thought I could control my sister as long as Tongue was out of the picture, but nothing's changed. I should have expected that you'd succumb to Jeanette's influence like all the others, but how dare you!
Well, I wish I could say something different than this. We did do it. We could honestly say we didn't know, character-wise.
Jeanette claimed you did it for her, but let's say I believe you. After all, you've acted decently and rationally up to now. I imagine you'd still like me to call off the feud.
Yeah, I have the item from the Ocean House, and a diary from there too.
Excellent! I'll take that. However, there's only one problem. If Tongue gets word that I threatened Jeanette, which he most certainly already has, it's not likely he'll believe me. So, in order to call off the feud, you're going to have to convince Jeanette to forgive me first.
Sure. Guess we can try. For Santa Monica's most powerful kindred, I'd be happy to.
I made some threats against my sister. Idle threats, involving fire and her impious satin sheets. She took them quite seriously, and is avoiding me. I want to meet with her, and explain that they were said in the heat of the moment. I asked her to meet me at the Surfside Diner, to reconcile, but I'm busy with the club and my other endeavors. I'd like you to go to the diner and promise her that I don't plan to take any action against her. Wait for her in the back booth, near the phones.
I don't trust this. I can't remember, but I think this is a setup. But why not? If the Baron of Santa Monica wants her sister back, I will get her sister back.
For all her unwholesome diversions and irritating disruptions, I should be less tolerant of her. She is my sister, however, and I suppose I'm obligated to forgive her her trespasses. I did sire her, after all. Please, be quick about it.
All right, I'll take care of it. And now we can hacky. Wishes. All right. From Mikey. Hey, what are you doing Friday night? I was thinking about stopping by the club. Maybe we could do some dancing. Okay. From Therese. You dirty little slut. How dare you meddle in the affairs of my city, and with that disgusting Nosferatu, no less. Okay, so she is involved with Bertram, at least in a scheming sort of way. I'm disgusting? I'm not the one that let that Nosferatu touch me. Can't you see that he's trying to tear us apart to take over the city? She's involved with him in other ways as well. How could you? And now my gallery too? I'm going to show you a little something, Jeanette. The sun. So this was the threat that she was talking about. Contacts. Call me. So we've got Mikey. Who is Mikey? At yahooligan.vampire the Masquerade. And some asterisks. Birdie. Email address 2 asterisks. Arthur. Kilpatrick. Oh my god. These are star ratings. She's rating their sexual prowess, isn't she? So Mikey's a 5. Bertram's a 2. Poor Arthur's a 1. Oh my god, I think we're in here. I think we're duckling. Who is Jeff? Whoever he is, he gets a 4-star. Mikey's the best so far. Who is Sarah? Well, Sarah's a 4-star. Jack. Is that the Jack we know? Well, he's a 5-star. Jack knows what's going on. He's been around for a while. How did we do? A 3. My new kitten. Oh well. At least we're not a 1-star, right? That's great. I love it. Okay, so the only question is now, do we go to the diner or do we go to the hospital? Alright, since we're already over here and the diner's just right in front of us, I guess we're going to be going there. I do believe we're getting set up, though. So let's save. Where'd the old lady go? Hey, fellas. What you doing?
Hey, where you going, man?
It's not important to you and your conspicuous friends, or shall I call the cops before something happens?
I'll let you go this time, man.
Yeah, good for you. I think we just diffused the situation. Hello?
I'm terribly sorry about that. My sister was just furious about your refusal to take part in her design, so she sent those men to kill you. I'm going to make sure it never happens again. Drop by. We'll take care of this time. She's crazy! Help!
I don't know that I believe you, Therese, but I guess it's time we wrap this all up. I think if I just come back to the booth like she said, that they would have attacked me. So again, multiple ways through. Can we talk to you? Italian mumble? Okay. Sure. Italian mumbler on the short order chef job.
Hey, need a date?
Maybe, but not right now and not from you. The behooved save. Hello.
You. I'm really sorry it had to end this way. I truly am. You seemed promising, but you've been tainted by the stink of my sister's schemes. And now I'm going to make sure she never double-crosses me again. Don't listen to her. She'll kill us both. Save me and I'll help you find Bertram. I swear. Shut up, Jeanette. I warned you to stay away from Tung. He's turned you against me. I always looked out for you, but you couldn't stand my success. You had to meddle, didn't you? I didn't want it to end like this, but you forced me. I wasn't sticking my fingers in anyone's pie, dear sister. Of course you weren't. Just like you weren't working with him. Is it any different than the way you treated Father? Father? Oh, Therese. You poor deluded dear. I treated Father exactly the way he deserved to be treated. And he treated you like a... You don't say a word about Father. Your heart still belongs to Daddy after all these years, eh, sister? At least he loved me. You take that back, you bitch! You never gave me any credit for anything, Therese. I was the one calling the shots. Bertram was dancing on my leash. How does it feel to know that I beat you?
Okay, yeah, so I took great pains to try not to spoiler this. They're Malkavian, which means they're a little, they have some, intellectual, mental issues. I've still never figured out if it was a split that happened when she was embraced, or if it actually is one sister's mind in the body of the other sister. So we're going to try to keep them from killing one another. Why are you both fighting?
Isn't it obvious? I'm about to rid the night of this deviant, backstabbing whore. Do you realize that despite her condition, she still fornicates with kind, no less? So despicable. So unclean. You're one to talk, dear sister. Or should I say daddy's little girl? Do you want to know just how depraved the Baron of Santa Monica can be? Shut up, Jeanette. You'd love the world to think you're a saint. When you thought I was asleep, I used to hear Father come in at night. I heard him whisper how much he loved you in your ear before he... Don't finish that sentence, or you're dead.
Oh, dear. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Both of you stop.
Don't you want to hear what happened? How she became the pillar of the community she is today? Shut up. Just shut up!
Stop it right now, both of you.
Don't try and stop me. I've had to overlook her treachery, her seduction, relations with my enemies, and the consequences of it. But I won't endure her any longer. Endure me? Dear sister, you've done everything you could to smother me. You love to bury me in your closet, along with all your other skeletons. I'm the good girl. You're the wicked one. You've done nothing but plot against me, when I had our best interests at heart. And despite that, I've always covered up your mistakes. I've taken care of you. And this is how you repay me? Taken care of me? You've done nothing but keep me down. Blame me for every mistake. Did you expect me to let you rule my life until the end of time? No, sister. You've had it coming since our last sunrise. Is that right, dear? If it wasn't for me, you would have never survived this long. Remember? They tried to separate us, but I refused. I chose this life and brought you into it so that we could stay together. Obviously, you've forgotten.
And that's why I'm not really sure what their situation is. We could obviously side with either one of them, but that leads to the other dying. So if you both want to continue to exist, you're going to have to live with each other.
She's a control freak. People, things, emotions. If she can't control something, she gets rid of it. And you're a wild animal. You'll rub up against anything that'll take you in for the night. Then when you're stuffed and bored, you bite the hand that fed you.
Both of you have been working against the other. Together, you'd be a powerful team.
I don't think that's possible. How could I ever think to trust her again? Trust me? Who could trust you after what happened with Father Dearest? Father loved me. I was a good girl. I always did what I was told. You always hated that he loved me. You disobeyed him. You brought men home when he wasn't there. You were an awful daughter to him.
It's actually really, really sad. That's all in the past, though. Forget about it.
Father came home drunk one day and mistook me for Therese. Because I'd fallen asleep in her bed. Don't listen to her. She's lying. Therese walked in while he was there, and she saw me lying with him, and so she went to the closet and pulled out his hunting shotgun, loaded it with deer shot, and blew his mind out all over the silly clown wallpaper. That's a lie. Father killed himself because of Jeanette. She made him miserable. As I recall, he died with a smile on his face.
Well, the only thing that I can say is that no matter the reason, Father deserved to have his brains all over the wall. Here's the thing, though. No matter what happened, you two need each other to move on. And this little conversation is why we needed our persuasion so high.
Why? How will this time be any different?
Think of how powerful you could be if you worked together.
Therese doesn't like to share. Jeanette's irresponsible. She's undependable. A venture like mine requires class and distinction, which is something a pigtailed, face-painting harlot does not lend very well. You do have a way with words, sister. You're right. I'm not in the same class, am I? I mean, murderers are so respectful these days.
Okay. So now I'm not sure. I can't quite remember which way to go. I think we have to tell them both to give a little bit. Therese, let Jeanette have some more responsibility.
More responsibility? So that she can ruin every opportunity I give her? Of course. You're the only one who can secure zoning permits and shake hands. I'd never be able to keep up.
And Jeanette, stop sabotaging your sister's plans.
But I only do it for attention and out of love. You do it because you're vindictive and jealous, and you deserve it.
If you'll call a truce and run this place equally, there's no need to kill one another.
If she would stop treating me like a child, if she would start behaving like a rational adult.
If you would both just be adults and get along. You both must have gotten along at one time.
Yes, there was a time. When I was a child, I didn't have many friends. I suppose Jeanette was the only one. We never did get to go out of the house much. Father wouldn't allow us. He said we'd get hurt, so we stayed inside and we imagined our own worlds. And we spent so much time there together, ruling over those places. Those were happier times, before we grew apart.
And into each other? You don't really want to kill one another, do you?
I never did. No, I guess I don't. Jeanette, if I were to offer you equal control in Santa Monica, would you quit consorting with Tongue? I'll stop working against you with him. But since I've got him in my pocket already, there's no reason for me not to pay him a little visit once in a while, when he can be of use. That's not a bad plan. There's just one more thing. I want to be in charge of Santa Monica, but only publicly. I want you to continue to convince others that our relations are strained. That way, we know who our enemies are. I agree.
All right, give me the gun, Therese.
Take it. I'd hate to look at it again and think of what almost transpired. I suppose now that Jeanette and I have settled our differences, I'll call off the feud with Tongue. Bertram's hiding in an empty oil tank at the old gas station. I'll tell him to expect a visitor, and I'll ask him to be extra nice.
Alrighty then. Thanks, you two. You pair of lunatics.
Please give Santa Monica's regards to the prince, and keep your tongue tied about what happened tonight, or we'll have to kill you.
Indeed, probably best to stay on their good side.